tell you, I'm happy to say there's
It is
nothing
September
but blue
13th, and you
skies
are
coming
watching
your
You
way.
Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how's your sports week?
Thank you, Bill. You know what? My sports week wasn't all that bad. Actually, it was pretty terrible. But I'm ready to bounce back. I'll talk about it in just a second. Let's go ahead and get things started.
That's right, we bounce back here on You Don't Watch Sports. Sprinkle a little bit of sports information into your casual conversation. We're going to start with NFL and topic number one, Omari.
Talk about the NFL in week 1. Let me tell you, this is kind of what I was talking about. Optimism was high, but did it deserve to be? Not quite so much. So I will say, positive note. I had a positive ratio on my picks for week 1. I went 10-7, and the only reason it was 7 is because I foolishly was optimistic in week 1. I told you week 1 is when optimism runs high, and I let that sway my decisions and my picks. And while I was right about certain things, any of my friends' teams that I was optimistic about, despite the fact that we've grown up rooting for bad teams, it just didn't work out. So we're going to go ahead and go into week 2, where I'm already off to a good start because I picked the Packers, but I'm going to get some of these picks out of the way, actually. Yeah, so we got Giants versus Cowboys tomorrow. After what happened last week, I got the Cowboys beating the Giants. They actually had somewhat of a competitive standing against the Eagles. So we're going to go ahead and say the Cowboys take down the Giants, who did not look good in their season opener. Russ is cooking, and he's overcooking. It's coming up burnt. We may have to charge out somebody else. Meanwhile, Steelers versus Seahawks. I got the Steelers taking down the Seahawks. Steelers performed way better than I thought they would, but it was also against the Jets, who also performed better than I thought I would. They're a high candidate for Game of the Week last week, only outdone by the Bills and Ravens in that stunner on Sunday night. Meanwhile, the Rams are facing the Titans this week. I hate to say it, but hey, optimism's out the window after last week. Rams are gonna beat the Titans. I hate it too. Moving on. Bills versus Jets. Jets lose. Bills are gonna take that. Dolphins versus Patriots. I hate the Patriots, but the Dolphins, while they had a bad showing last week, I think they bounced back because the Patriots are just worse on paper. So I'm giving it to the Dolphins this week. Bengals are going to just annihilate the Jaguars. Sorry, Jaguars. You had your free win last week against the Panthers. Ain't happening no more. Bengals take you down. And another back-to-back week where we have big cat teams facing each other. Kind of funny. Meanwhile, 49ers are going to destroy the Saints. The Ravens are going to devour the Browns. Optimism's out the window, and even though the Lions no longer have an offensive line based off of last week, I do think they beat the Bears, unfortunately. Broncos are gonna beat the Colts. The Panthers are gonna lose to the Cardinals. Again, optimism out the window, but before you go, you give up on your team, look at what I'm wearing, okay? Shut the fuck up. Now, we got these fucking Eagles versus the Chiefs. That's gonna be great. Sunday afternoon, the Super Bowl rematch, not even the Sunday night game. What are we doing out here? I got the Eagles. They had a better showing than the Chiefs last week, and I'm going to stick with that. Also, they had a better showing than them in the Super Bowl. And, regular season isn't exactly the time that the Chiefs, mistake-free, highly disciplined football kicks in. That's usually postseason. So I think the Eagles are going to take that. Yes. Meanwhile, Vikings are going to beat the Falcons. Buccaneers beat the Texans. Chargers are going to beat the Raiders, in my opinion. They beat the Chiefs already. Don't sleep on the Chargers. Meanwhile, like last week, gonna go ahead and predict the Thursday game because, that'll happen before the show. And I'm gonna say Dolphins versus Bills. I kind of wish this Sunday's game would have happened so I could have a reason to still have that Dolphin optimism. But so far, I can only go off of last weekend. And I gotta say,
you gotta go with the Bills, right?
take it over
Yeah.
the Dolphins for now.
I feel like that's the natural, especially after their defeat.
And yeah, like I said, I was 10-7, mainly because of my optimistic picks last week. Going through it, I was like, man, I'm like 9-3 on these picks. I'm doing good. And then the optimism picks kicked in, and you just know it was terrible after that. What's that?
Well, I didn't say anything,
that.
Actually.
You know, that is how it goes.
Okay.
But, hey,
all right.
Bright side, fantasy football this season, I'm off to 1-0. That's cool.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well,
okay.
That's football this week. What else we need to talk about?
All right. Well, that is the NFL. We look forward to keeping updated on your fantasy football league here in the rest of the year. We're gonna go into MLB for topic number 2. The MLB standings, real quick. We're gonna just blaze through them. The Toronto Blue Jays are on top of the American League East, with the Yankees 3 games behind. In the American League Central, you have the Tigers still on top of the division against the Guardians at 7.5 games up. They have been controlling that division all year. And then you have the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros tied for the American League West. That is the hottest division in the league. That it's the hottest division in the league? Absolutely. Now. I'm not saying anything out of school here. National League East, let's run through it. Phillies are up 12 games. The Brewers are up 5.5 games. And then the National League West, the Dodgers are up 2.5
just sitting there.
And that covers it for topic number 2, MLB. On topic number 3, we are going to slide into really quick, just updating you on Worlds Collide. It is AAA, WWE mashing together, and we had big news from the Worlds Collide pay-per-view yesterday. Dominic Mysterio is your AAA Mega Champion. Big shout outs to Dominic Mysterio, who is currently double champion, Intercontinental, and AAA Mega Champion. Who would have ever thought that Dominic Mysterio... Is sad news, obviously, I need to... Insane. We're keeping it a little pint-sized here today on You Don't Watch Sports, just to sprinkle that little bit of information into your casual conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Omari, where else can they find you on the internet?
And yes, obviously, you can find me here every week, doing everything that we do. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by. Streaming Earth Day 240. You know what that means. And, yeah. Bill, you got anything else you want to say?
No.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Adios, miss.